because you know how you hear this phrase like healthy things grow. Well, so does cancer. So sometimes churches grow for all the wrong reasons and it's not sustainable, but you don't know that. So like, when do you die of cancer? Sometimes you get a 1 month diagnosis. Sometimes you get a 1 year. So, cancer grows too. And so for example, with church growth, a lot of times like with Enjoy, they say like you have a front door and a back door. So like V1 Church had the front door of fastest growing church in America category, but that didn't make me celebrate because I was like, well, man, there's a lot of churches that have pulled that off. The back door is the retention. So like when they told me that the back door of V1 Church is as small as an established 20-year-old church, which means that I'm bringing people in but retaining them, that's the hallmark of discipleship. So if a church is dying, the question is, how big's your front door and how big's your back door? So I can take social media and I can teach you everything that I've learned and our team has learned and open your front door, but you have this massive back door. And it's just like, so all I've done is just ruined your life faster, or I can teach you how to close the back door, but now you're not doing multiplication. You're just doing adding and subtracting because people aren't aware that you even exist in your neighborhood. So it's like, I think the answer to a question is like, I don't know, but I will say that, and this is the last thing I want to say, because I want to give a really controversial answer, because I love these kinds of questions. And I'm going to say this is going to offend somebody to the next level. The Old Covenant, Old Testament, you had tribes, and the entire nation of Israel was not Levitical. Only one tribe was Levites. And not everybody who's a pastor is supposed to be a pastor. And if your church is failing, I would say I want to help people. I want to diagnose it. I want to get in there, but there's something to be said about sometimes the best thing that can happen is for that church to die. And I've been saying this more and more, and this is more prophetic. And again, I told you I was going to be controversial. I've been seeing a great consolidation happening in the kingdom for years and years and years. I've been saying that we're going to see that happen, and a great consolidation happening. And sometimes the healthiest thing, that's why I believe in the free market system here in America, where it's just like in New York City, if it costs $40,000 a month for rent and your food's not good, your restaurant will die. And that's why they say if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere, because it's just like here, like, okay, this is the funniest thing ever. There's a deli on the corner that makes sandwiches, and right next door there's Subway. It's, the franchise Subway. Subway died and the deli didn't. Why? Because there is no way Subway's competing with the caliber of sandwich that they're making. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so it's just like with the church world, it's like, yeah, let it die. Like if you're not waking up every day and somebody told, and you're passionate and you're not going for it, maybe somebody else told you're a pastor, not God.
Yeah, I mean, I've had conversations with a handful of people. One comes to mind in particular. I won't mention the person's name, but I remember him saying, like, I've been called to be a pastor. I have to get on stage and start preaching, or I'm never going to get good at it. And I'm like, well, I've heard you preach a couple of times, and you're not good. And not good in the sense of like, there's the new person where it's like, man, your message was great. Your delivery was a little rough because you've never really done it before. Change a couple of these things and you'll probably be good, and some repetition and you'll be great. Like, no, like he was bad. Like, I was like, you should probably not. And I'm like, and by the way, I'm like, if you genuinely believe God's calling you to be a pastor, that doesn't mean you have to be on stage speaking to someone.
Yes.
And I'm like, you are really relational and people genuinely like talking with you. And I'm like, that's the type of pastor you are probably meant to be. Someone will probably come up and ask you for advice, and you're going to be able to comfort them, give them wisdom, and move on. And not stand on stage and give a 30-minute, sermon. I'm not saying that you're never going to do that, like ever. Like, I don't think that it's bad for people that are not good speakers to get up and give, words that God's given them. I think that's great, and I think that's healthy. But it's like that mindset of like, oh, I've been called to be a pastor. That means I have to be on stage. And if I don't get on stage, then I'm not going to be a pastor. And it's like, Oh man, come on. And it's like, I try to tell all my tech people that same thing. It's like, we are in ministry. Like, we are as important as the pastor is. The only difference is that the pastor's speaking in a microphone and we're making the microphone work.
That's it. Well, my new value in the kingdom is for proper placement.
Yeah.
It's, we've always attributed numerical value to things, and there's a place for that, but it's just, what is your proper placement? That's where the value is. Like for me, if you hold your phone to your face and say, you know what, I'm going to try Mike's thing and I'm going to go live every day. If 4 to 6 months from now, you haven't amassed a larger audience, that's the world voting with their attendance and saying you just don't have it. You know what I mean? And so like, you have guys like N.T. Wright. This dude is pretty much one of my favorite theologians. He's not riveting in the traditional sense, but his videos go viral. It's like, find your proper place. Like if you're a teacher, teach. If you're a preacher, preach. But you won't sometimes know until you experiment. And for me, I get out there, I taste, I try, I experiment, I post, I see what works, and I just go with it. But I got enough feedback to say that this is where my gifting is. I'm not delusional about it, whatever, So I would just say, like, experiment, try it, low barrier to entry. Like, honestly, I brought in a professional to help me with my Instagram, and they took my design all the way down to monochromatic, no colors, it's very minimal. It's just the quote. And it explosively grew. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I think all the time we think that it's got to be like, we have the wrong metric. So more, it's like, you'd be better posting, like you said, 2 to 3 times a day, low quality, but high engagement, things that help people, that serve them, than you would being post high quality, low engagement once a week.